"You will intercourse with us," said the three giant alien princesses on the station humanity had long dreamed of reaching the stars. But no one expected first contact to happen at the Orion Trading Station, a colossal hub orbiting the gas giant Thalos. The station was a place where alien species of all shapes and sizes gathered to trade, negotiate, and sometimes bicker. For most humans, it was overwhelming, a place where your senses were constantly assaulted by strange smells, bright lights, and unfamiliar sounds. Commander Layla Rourke stepped off the shuttle, her boots clanging against the metallic floor of the docking bay. She tightened her uniform, aware of the curious glances from the aliens passing by. To anyone else, she might have looked tense, but Layla had spent most of her life in situations where danger was only a heartbeat away. She was human, after all, and humans had a peculiar way of adapting quickly, sometimes in ways even they did not fully understand. Layla's mission was straightforward: negotiate a trade agreement between the United Earth Coalition and the station's governing council. What made it difficult, however, was the unexpected presence of three giant alien princesses who had recently arrived. Their species, the Velari, were known for their intelligence, their size, and their stubborn pride. Each stood over 3 meters tall, their shimmering armor-like skin reflecting the station lights in hues of deep violet and gold. The humans in the docking bay whispered nervously as the princesses moved past. Some reached out, wanting to touch the smooth, metallic sheen of their skin, but were gently waved away. There was something about the Velari that demanded respect, an aura of authority that no human hierarchy could match. Layla approached the council chambers, where she would meet Princess Celira, the eldest of the trio, known for her tactical brilliance. Alongside her were Princess Morin, the diplomat, and Princess Kairla, whose reputation as a scholar and scientist preceded her. Layla couldn't help but feel the weight of history pressing down on her shoulders. Humans had rarely negotiated directly with the Velari, and even fewer had walked away unscathed, or alive. The doors to the council chambers opened with a soft hiss. Layla stepped inside, bowing slightly as a mark of respect. The three princesses rose from their seats. Each movement was deliberate, confident, and commanding. "You are the representative of the humans," Celira said, her voice deep and resonant, echoing slightly in the chamber. "We have observed your species for some time. You are resourceful but fragile." Layla kept her posture steady. "And yet we have survived, Princess Celira. Despite the odds, humanity thrives. We hope to prove that cooperation benefits us all." Morin stepped forward, her eyes narrowing. "You speak boldly. Many species before you have claimed such, but boldness is not enough to earn our trust. Why should we engage with humans?" Layla smiled faintly. "Because, despite being new to the galactic stage, we adapt, we innovate, and sometimes we surprise those who underestimate us. We may be fragile, but we are resilient." Kairla's gaze lingered on Layla, analytical and piercing. "Resilience is a quality many admire," she said quietly, "but resilience alone cannot sustain trade, alliances, or knowledge exchange. We seek proof, something tangible that humanity can offer that other species cannot." For a moment, Layla felt the enormity of the challenge. The Velari were not easily impressed. But she reminded herself of what humans had always relied upon: ingenuity, creativity, and the ability to act when others hesitated. She took a deep breath. "We propose a demonstration of our technology," she said. "We have developed the first modular fusion drives capable of rapid adaptation to diverse energy sources. They are compact, efficient, and can be integrated into your station systems or vessels with minimal modification. No other species has created something like this at our scale." The princesses exchanged glances. Celira's expression softened slightly. "A bold claim. Can it perform under extreme conditions, in the void between stars or on planets with fluctuating gravity and atmosphere?" Layla gestured toward her assistant, who activated a hollow projector. A three-dimensional model of the fusion drive appeared, spinning slowly. "We have tested these drives in environments ranging from near-vacuum chambers to high-radiation fields. They are durable, adaptive, and designed with redundancy systems to prevent catastrophic failure. We believe they could be of great benefit to the Velari, as well as many other species." The chamber was silent for a moment. Then Morin spoke, her tone tinged with curiosity. "Your species is ambitious, perhaps too ambitious, but ambition is not without merit. Still, observation is not enough. We require demonstration. Layla nodded. We anticipated that. We brought a unit for live testing. It is docked in the nearby test bay and ready for operation. With your permission, we can proceed immediately. Salira leaned back slightly, considering. Very well, we will observe this test. Know that failure is unacceptable. If your technology endangers our station or our people, it will be the last mistake humanity makes in this sector. Layla swallowed, but she kept her expression calm. Understood. The princesses rose, their towering forms casting long shadows across the chamber. They followed Layla and her team to the test bay. The walk through the station corridors was tense. Humans craned their necks to see the princesses pass, murmuring softly among themselves. The Villari barely acknowledged them, their attention focused entirely on Layla and the fusion drive. The test bay was enormous, designed to accommodate large spacecraft and experimental technologies. Layla led the princesses to the fusion drive, which gleamed under the bright lights. Her engineering team stood by, ready to operate the systems. Layla activated the drive. A low hum filled the bay as the machinery came to life. Light arcs danced across its surface, and the air seemed to vibrate slightly. The princesses watched in silence, their expressions unreadable. Then came the first test, an energy absorption trial. The fusion drive adapted seamlessly to fluctuating power inputs, stabilizing its output almost instantly. The princess's eyes widened slightly. Salira's voice broke the silence. Impressive. Most species would have overloaded the system by now. Next was the extreme temperature trial. The drive maintained functionality despite rapid changes in temperature, from near absolute zero to levels approaching thermal tolerance limits. Kyrla leaned closer, examining the display. You have indeed created something unique. Such adaptability is rare. Finally, the team initiated a simulation of interstellar conditions, testing the drive's performance under high radiation and microgravity. The system continued to operate flawlessly, adjusting and compensating without intervention. The chamber erupted in whispered exclamations from the observing humans and station staff. The princesses, however, remained composed, though Salira's posture relaxed slightly. Humans, she said finally, her voice measured but approving, you have demonstrated ingenuity and resilience. Perhaps we underestimated your species. You may have potential as partners if your people can consistently prove their capability. Layla allowed herself a small smile. We will, Princess Salira. Humanity has always risen to challenges, no matter how great. Morin's gaze softened, though her tone remained cautious. Potential is not proof, but it is a beginning. We will observe your species more closely. Perhaps we can learn from each other. Kyrla nodded. And perhaps your technology can benefit more than just humans. The universe is vast, and knowledge shared is knowledge multiplied. The princesses turned, their towering forms moving toward the exit of the test bay. Layla followed, feeling a mixture of relief and anticipation. She had survived the first encounter and had proven humanity's worth in a way that words alone could not. But she knew this was only the beginning. The Villari were a complex people, and their trust was earned over time, through consistent action and undeniable skill. Humanity had made its first step into a larger galactic stage, but the road ahead would be filled with challenges, tests, and unexpected trials. As the shuttle returned to her quarters, Layla gazed out at the swirling colors of Thalos below. Humanity had survived countless challenges on Earth, from natural disasters to interspecies conflict. Now they would face challenges in the stars, but she was confident that human ingenuity and determination would continue to shine even among giants. Above all, she thought, humans had one quality that no alien species could replicate: the ability to never give up, no matter the odds. And that quality, she believed, would carry them further than any technology ever could. Weeks passed after the demonstration of the fusion drive, but the calm of the Orion trading station was short-lived. Reports had come in from the outer rim of the Thalos sector. An unknown vessel, enormous and dark, had been detected approaching the system at impossible speeds. No one could identify its origin, and even the station's sensors struggled to analyze it. Commander Layla Rourke stood on the observation deck, her hands gripping the railing as she watched the massive shape appear against the stars. Beside her, the three Villari princesses, Salira, Morin, and Kyrla, observed silently. Each moved with a confidence born of experience, yet there was an undercurrent of unease. This was no ordinary threat. "What do we know?" Layla asked, her voice calm, though her mind raced. Kyrla adjusted her holographic display, projecting the approaching vessel's profile. It emits no recognizable energy signature. Its hull composition is unlike anything cataloged in our databases. Preliminary scans suggest it is heavily shielded and self-sustaining. It could survive in the vacuum of space indefinitely. Morin spoke next, her voice cautious. "We have no records of diplomacy with its species. All attempts at communication have failed. It appears to follow no standard galactic protocol." Salira's gaze did not leave the vessel. "Then it is a test," she said simply, "or a challenge, perhaps both." Layla nodded. Humans had faced unknown threats before, plagues, storms, even warfare. But this was on a scale far beyond anything Earth had ever seen. Yet there was something familiar about the fear mingled with determination. Humanity thrived under pressure, and Layla had no intention of letting fear control her. She turned to her engineering team. "Prepare the fusion drive for full deployment. We need every advantage." Hours later, the Orion trading station was in emergency lockdown. Alien traders hurried to secure their goods, while security personnel armed themselves in anticipation of confrontation. Layla and her human crew moved efficiently, working alongside the Velari scientists to ensure that the fusion drive systems were fully integrated with the station's defense grid. The approaching vessel drew closer, its shadow stretching across the station like an ominous hand. Then, without warning, it emitted a pulse, a wave of energy that swept through the station. Lights flickered, communications went silent, and the air thrummed with an electric charge. The Velari princesses reacted immediately. Salira's voice rang through the emergency intercom. "All personnel remain calm, brace for impact, engage shields." The station shook violently, alarms blared, and humans stumbled in the corridors. Layla sprinted to the fusion drive control room, her team following. They had trained for this scenario, but nothing could fully prepare them for the raw power of an unknown alien threat. Layla activated the drive. Energy surged through the conduits, illuminating the chamber with a pale blue glow. The fusion drive hummed with precision, adapting instantly to the fluctuating power demands of the station's shields. The Velari scientists monitored every system, their tall forms moving gracefully among consoles, adjusting and calculating with incredible speed. The pulse hit again. This time the station's shields held. A ripple of tension ran through the crew, fear mixed with relief. They were human, but they had proven they could endure. Salira approached Layla. "Your technology performs admirably. Humans adapt quickly. I see now why you are considered resourceful." Layla met her gaze, determination in her eyes. "We survive because we must. We don't have the luxury of surrender." As the alien vessel drew closer, the station's sensors finally detected something new. It was not just a ship, but a living construct. Its movements were deliberate, almost sentient, and it seemed to study the station as it approached. Kyrla's voice cut through the room. "This entity is learning. Every pulse, every defensive action we take, it is analyzing and adapting." Morin's expression darkened. "Then we must act before it becomes too strong. Layla, can your human systems withstand sustained engagement?" Layla's hands flew over the controls. "Yes, but only if we maintain constant adjustments. The fusion drive can feed the shields indefinitely, but we need precision. One mistake, and the station could be lost." The first direct strike came without warning. The alien construct fired a concentrated beam at the station, tearing through one of the outer docking arms. Explosions rocked the bays, and humans and aliens alike were thrown off their feet. Layla and her team focused, the fusion drive working at maximum efficiency. Shields flared and retracted, absorbing energy and redirecting it safely. The princesses coordinated the station's defense, their size and presence ensuring that panic did not spread. Hours passed like this. The alien vessel tested, probed, and attacked, yet the humans and Velari held their ground. Slowly, they began to notice patterns in the creature's movements. It reacted predictably after certain strikes, almost as if it was programmed to learn through repetition. Salira pointed to a holographic projection of the vessel. "It relies on observation and repetition. If we introduce unpredictability, we can gain the advantage." Layla's mind raced. "Then we can use the fusion drive in a new way." Instead of only feeding the shields, we can simulate random energy fluctuations across the station, creating patterns the vessel cannot anticipate. Morin raised an eyebrow. Risky. If we miscalculate, it could backfire. Layla nodded. I know the risks. But it's our best chance. With the princess's approval, the human engineers reprogrammed the drive, sending pulses of energy in erratic patterns. The station shivered as the shields flickered unpredictably, forcing the alien construct to hesitate. For the first time, it seemed unsure, its beam wavering as it tried to compensate. Then came the counterattack. The station's automated turrets, previously silent, sprang to life. Guided by the Velari's advanced targeting systems and the unpredictability introduced by the fusion drive, they struck precise points on the alien construct. Sparks flew, and the creature emitted a high-pitched resonance, a sound that vibrated through every corridor. Layla watched the display with bated breath. Keep it steady, don't let it adapt. The battle intensified, each side pushing the other to the limit. Yet humans held fast, not because of brute strength, but because of ingenuity. Every decision, every adjustment, every unpredictable move kept the alien at bay. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the alien construct halted. It hovered in space, emitting a series of low pulses that seemed almost like communication. Kyrla leaned closer to the sensors. It is responding to our actions. It recognizes strategy. It recognizes intelligence. Selira stepped forward. Then it knows we are not merely animals. It knows we are thinking beings. Perhaps it will retreat if we demonstrate understanding. Layla took a deep breath. Let's try. She instructed the engineers to reduce the energy fluctuations, aligning them with patterns of cooperation rather than aggression. The shields lowered slightly and the automated turrets held fire. The alien construct pulsed once, twice, and then began to slowly move away, retreating into the darkness of space. The station fell silent. Humans and Velari alike looked at one another, the weight of what had just happened sinking in. They had faced an unknown, overwhelming force, and survived. Not because of strength alone, but because of ingenuity, adaptability, and cooperation. Selira turned to Layla, her voice calm but firm. Humanity has proven itself today. You think quickly, act decisively, and never yield. That is rare among species. Layla nodded, exhausted but proud. We survive because we have to. We adapt because it is in our nature. And we never give up no matter the odds. Morin's tone softened. Perhaps we were too quick to judge your species. You are resourceful, resilient, and capable of extraordinary cooperation. The Velari could learn much from humans. Kyrla smiled faintly. And perhaps humanity can learn from the Velari as well. Together, we can achieve far more than either of us could alone. The princesses moved to the observation deck, their towering forms silhouetted against the gas giant below. Layla followed, feeling a sense of accomplishment and hope. Humanity had faced the unknown and survived. They had earned respect, not through domination, but through intelligence, courage, and determination. As the stars stretched infinitely beyond the station, Layla realized something important. Humanity was no longer just a species confined to one planet. They had become players in a much larger universe. They had faced giants and survived. They had faced the unknown and triumphed. And this was only the beginning. The Orion trading station would remain a hub of commerce, diplomacy, and wonder. The Velari princesses would continue to observe humanity, testing and learning, but one thing was clear. Humans had proven their worth. Their ingenuity, resilience, and refusal to give up had set them apart. Layla looked out at the endless expanse of space, feeling a sense of pride she had never experienced before. Humans were small, fragile, and sometimes reckless, but they were also brave, inventive, and unyielding. And in the vastness of the galaxy, that made all the difference. No matter what challenges awaited, humanity would rise. They would endure, adapt, and flourish. Because humans, in their essence, were unstoppable. And somewhere in the depths of space, among the stars and planets yet to be explored, their story was just beginning. The calm after the alien encounter lasted only a few weeks. Humans and Velari worked together on the Orion trading station, repairing damage, upgrading systems, and studying the strange vessel that had attacked them. But peace in space was always fragile. Intelligence reports warned of a new threat, one that would test not only human ingenuity, but their ability to unite with alien allies under pressure. Commander Layla Rourke stood on the observation deck, looking out over the Thalos sector. The gas giant glowed beneath the station, its swirling clouds reflecting the light of nearby stars. Beside her, the three Velari princesses observed in silence. Selira spoke first. "We have detected multiple energy signatures approaching the system. They are faster than anything we have catalogued, and they carry weapons unlike any we have seen." Kyrla's eyes narrowed as she studied the data streams. "These are not simple marauders. Their movements are deliberate. They coordinate like a single entity, yet each unit is autonomous. They are highly intelligent, and they learn from each engagement." Morin added, her tone cautious. "We faced one vessel before, but this is an organized fleet. They may have been observing us since the first encounter. If they attack in force, the station alone will not survive." Layla's mind raced. Humanity had survived impossible odds before. They had adapted, innovated, and endured. But this threat was different. It was strategic, relentless, and intent on conquest. Yet she refused to allow fear to take hold. "We will not run," she said firmly. "We will prepare and we will face them together. Humans have faced worse and survived. We will do it again." The princesses regarded her carefully. Selira nodded slightly. "Confidence is essential, but preparation is more important. We will combine our technology, our knowledge, and our forces. Together, we may stand a chance." Work began immediately. Human engineers and Velari scientists collaborated, integrating fusion drive technology into the station's defense systems. They reinforced hulls, upgraded shields, and developed countermeasures to anticipate enemy tactics. The humans' unpredictability, once a weakness, became an asset. Layla oversaw the coordination of human and Velari teams, moving from bay to bay, checking systems, and offering guidance. Despite her exhaustion, she felt a deep sense of pride. Humans had always risen to challenges, and this was no different. Their ingenuity, adaptability, and courage were unmatched. Days later, the threat arrived. A fleet of sleek black ships emerged from hyperspace, their movements precise and coordinated. The Orion trading station's alarms blared as the fleet surrounded the station, cutting off potential escape routes. Layla stood in the command center, flanked by the princesses. Selira's tall figure radiated authority. "This will be our test," she said. "We must defend the station and demonstrate that unity and intelligence triumph over raw power." The first strike came swiftly. The enemy ships fired concentrated energy beams, tearing through one of the station's outer defensive turrets. Explosions rocked the structure, sending humans and Velari scrambling for cover. Layla activated the fusion drive, channeling energy to the shields. Sparks flew along the walls as the protective barriers flared to life. "Maintain formation," she shouted. "Keep the shield stable. Focus on defense first." The Velari princesses coordinated the counterattack. Morin's commands flowed through the communication network, guiding turrets and automated systems with precise timing. Kyrla monitored energy outputs, adjusting the fusion drive to respond to fluctuations in real time. Selira analyzed the enemy fleet's movements, anticipating their strikes and predicting weaknesses. For hours, the battle raged. The station shook with every impact, and the human crew worked tirelessly, adjusting systems, rerouting power, and repairing damaged sections. Yet through it all, they remained focused. Humanity had a talent for endurance, for innovation under pressure, and for finding solutions when hope seemed lost. Layla noticed a pattern in the enemy fleet. Their attacks were coordinated, but they followed predictable cycles. "If we create disruption," she said to Selira, "we can break their formation and force mistakes." Selira's gaze met hers. "Do it, but be careful. They are clever, and one wrong move could cost us everything." Layla nodded. She activated a new protocol, using the fusion drive to send fluctuating energy pulses across the station's shields in unpredictable patterns. The energy rippled outward, causing the enemy fleet to hesitate. Their attacks faltered as the station's shields adapted faster than they could anticipate. "Now," Layla shouted, "engage countermeasures." Automated turrets fired, guided by human unpredictability and Velari precision. Beams struck the enemy ships at weak points, disrupting their coordination. The alien fleet faltered, retreating slightly to regroup. Selira's voice was calm but firm. "They respond to intelligence. They understand strategy. Keep up the pressure, and they may withdraw entirely." Layla and her team continued to innovate, creating new tactics on the fly. The fusion drive powered emergency drones, shield decoys, and rapid-fire defensive systems. Humans adapted in real time, improvising with tools and resources available. The Villari followed suit, their advanced knowledge complementing human creativity. After several tense hours, the alien fleet began to retreat. They pulsed their energy once more, almost like a warning, then disappeared into the darkness of space. The station was battered but intact. Humans and Villari alike let out sighs of relief. Layla slumped into a chair, exhausted, but a small smile spread across her face. They had survived, they had adapted, and they had proven themselves once again. Salira approached her, placing a hand on her shoulder. Humanity has impressed us. Your species' ability to endure, to innovate, and to act decisively under pressure is remarkable. We were wrong to doubt you. Layla shook her head. We didn't do it alone. Humans are resilient, yes, but we succeed when we work together. The Villari and humans, our cooperation saved this station today. Morin stepped forward, her expression thoughtful. Perhaps this is the beginning of something greater. Your species has potential, and together we can face challenges that would destroy others. Kyrla added quietly, knowledge shared, courage combined, and adaptability. These are the qualities that define a species capable of thriving in the galaxy. Humans possess them in abundance. Layla looked out the observation window, the stars stretching infinitely beyond. Humanity had survived countless dangers on Earth, and now they had proven themselves in space. They were small, fragile, and yet remarkably tenacious. The galaxy was vast and filled with unknown threats, but humans had one advantage. They never gave up. Over the following weeks, the Orion trading station became a symbol of unity and resilience. Humans and Villari worked side by side, studying the alien technology, improving defenses, and preparing for future encounters. The collaboration strengthened the bond between species, proving that cooperation and intelligence could overcome even the most daunting challenges. Layla spent long hours with the engineering teams, refining systems and sharing insights. She saw the value of human intuition, improvisation, and creativity in ways even the Villari had not fully appreciated. And she saw the Villari respond in kind, teaching humans advanced techniques in energy management, strategic thinking, and problem-solving. The station's crew grew more confident with each passing day. Humans learned to anticipate alien threats, and the Villari grew to respect the ingenuity and determination of their human allies. Together, they created a network of knowledge, defense, and innovation that would serve them well in the years to come. One evening, Layla stood on the observation deck, the three princesses beside her. The Thalos sector glimmered with distant stars and planets, full of mysteries yet to explore. Salira spoke first. You have proven humanity is more than capable. You are clever, resilient, and willing to take risks that other species would avoid. That is why you survived and why you will continue to thrive. Layla nodded. We survive because we must. We adapt because it is in our nature, and we never give up no matter the odds. Morin smiled faintly. There are challenges ahead, but we will face them together. Intelligence, courage, and cooperation will be our greatest weapons. Kyrla's voice was quiet but resolute. And the galaxy will learn that humans are a species not to underestimate. Layla looked out into the vastness of space, feeling a deep sense of pride. Humanity had proven itself against overwhelming odds. They had survived unknown enemies, faced giants, and forged alliances that would shape the future of interstellar relations. She realized that humans were small, fragile, and seemingly ordinary. But in their tenacity, ingenuity, and willingness to fight for survival, they were extraordinary. And in the universe, that could make all the difference. As the Orion trading station continued its orbit around Thalos, humans and Villari alike looked to the stars with hope and determination. The galaxy was vast, dangerous, and full of unknowns, but they were ready. Together, they would explore, defend, and thrive. Humanity had taken its place among the stars, and their story was only just beginning. Layla felt a sense of calm determination. The challenges ahead would be immense, but humans had something no other species could replicate: the unbreakable will to endure, to innovate, and to rise above adversity. And with allies like the Villari, there was nothing they could not face. The stars stretched endlessly before them, but for the first time, humanity did not feel small. They felt ready. And in the heart of the galaxy, among the giants, the explorers, and the unknown, humanity had proven itself. Resilient, clever, and unstoppable. Months had passed since the alien fleet had retreated from the Thalos sector. Humanity and the Velari had strengthened their alliance, reinforcing the Orion trading station and expanding their knowledge of the galaxy. The humans had adapted quickly to life alongside the towering, elegant Velari, learning their ways while teaching the aliens about human ingenuity, improvisation, and creativity. Commander Layla Rourke had grown into a respected figure among both humans and Velari. Her leadership in the defense of the station had proven her capability time and again. Yet even as they rebuilt and prepared for the unknown, a new mystery began to stir beyond the outer rim. Sensors detected irregular signals, faint and fleeting, coming from the edge of known space. At first, the signals seemed random, glitches in the data, perhaps cosmic interference, but as weeks passed, patterns emerged. The signals were deliberate, structured, and strangely familiar. They carried no standard communication protocols, yet they seemed to be an attempt at contact. Selira, the eldest Velari princess, approached the observation deck where Layla studied the data. "We have detected signals originating from the far reaches of the sector," she said, her deep voice resonating in the quiet room. "They are intelligent, but unlike anything catalogued. They are not hostile, at least not yet." Kyrla examined the patterns more closely. "The structure is unique. It appears almost musical in nature. Repetition and variation suggest intelligence, but the source remains undetermined." Morin added cautiously, "It may be a species attempting contact, or it may be a trap. We cannot risk approaching without preparation." Layla leaned back, considering the implications. Humanity had survived impossible odds, had faced unknown threats, and had proven their ingenuity alongside the Velari. And yet, every time they assumed a measure of security, the universe reminded them of its vastness and its surprises. "We will proceed carefully," Layla said. "We'll send unmanned probes first, record every response, and analyze their behavior, but we cannot ignore this. Every signal is a chance to learn, to expand our understanding, and perhaps to find new allies." The princesses nodded, trusting her judgment. They had come to respect the humans' ability to adapt and innovate, even in situations that seemed impossible. Over the following weeks, probes were dispatched into the far reaches of the sector. Each probe carried sensors, translators, and analysis equipment designed by both humans and Velari. The signals grew stronger, more coherent, and seemed almost to respond to the probe's transmissions. Then, one day, a probe returned with a startling discovery. It had encountered a massive structure, unlike anything the galaxy had seen. A floating city of immense proportions, built from dark metallic materials and glowing with streams of energy. The architecture was alien yet astonishingly advanced. Its sheer size dwarfed even the Orion trading station. Layla and the princesses stared at the holographic images projected in the command center. The city pulsed with energy, and patterns in its glow mirrored the signals they had been receiving. There was intelligence behind this, and it was deliberate. Selira's voice was calm, but her tone carried authority. "This is extraordinary. The structure is immense and highly organized. Whoever built this has knowledge far beyond most species we have encountered." Morin frowned. "We cannot ignore the potential threat. Its intentions are unknown. It could be a neutral civilization, or something dangerous, capable of overwhelming even our combined forces." Kyrla added, "We must learn before we act. Observation and understanding will be our first line of defense. And if we approach, we must do so with caution and respect." Layla nodded. "We'll assemble a team, humans and Velari working together. We'll study the structure, analyze its behavior, and attempt communication. We've survived threats before because we relied on intelligence, creativity, and cooperation. This will be no different." The team was formed, a mix of humans and Velari, engineers, linguists, and tactical officers. They boarded an exploration vessel equipped with the latest fusion drive technology, capable of high-speed travel and adaptation to unknown conditions. The journey to the floating city was tense, each crew member aware of the unknown dangers that might await. As they approached, the city revealed more of its complexity. Towering spires of dark metal stretched into space, connected by energy bridges that pulsed with a soft, rhythmic glow. Entire sections of the city seemed to shift and reconfigure themselves, as if alive. The signals grew stronger, almost like a song, their patterns echoing across the ship's sensors. Layla took a deep breath. "Everyone focus. Our survival depends on observation, analysis, and calm action. We do not provoke, we do not assume, and we do not panic. Every decision matters. The team deployed scanning drones to map the city and analyze energy flows. The drones returned with images of intricate structures, powered by an unknown energy source, and what appeared to be inhabitants, tall, semi-transparent beings that moved with fluid grace. Their forms were unlike anything humans or Velari had seen, and they seemed to resonate with the signals in a complex dance of light and energy. Kyrla studied the data with fascination. These beings do not appear aggressive. Their movements are deliberate, yet not threatening. They may communicate through energy patterns, perhaps even through emotion or thought. Layla nodded. We need to find a way to respond in kind. Humans have always adapted to new languages, new environments, and new forms of communication. We can do this. The team devised a method to transmit a series of energy pulses that mirrored the patterns received from the floating city. The pulses were deliberate, calculated, and designed to show understanding rather than dominance. At first, there was no response. Then the city's glow shifted, changing rhythm in ways that seemed to acknowledge the human signals. A wave of excitement ran through the crew. This was contact, not through words, but through energy, pattern, and understanding. Selira's voice resonated in the command center. They recognize your intelligence. You have proven that communication is possible. Proceed carefully. Over the next several days, the team continued to send and receive energy patterns, gradually establishing a form of dialogue. The city's inhabitants seemed curious, observing the humans and Velari, testing them with complex sequences of light and pulses. Every response required careful calculation, creativity, and patience. Layla marveled at the process. Humans had always relied on ingenuity, adaptability, and courage. Now their ability to think creatively and respond to the unknown was being tested on a cosmic scale. Yet they persisted, driven by curiosity, intelligence, and a desire to understand. Finally, a breakthrough occurred. The city's energy patterns stabilized, forming a sequence that mirrored a simple human signal, an acknowledgement of cooperation and understanding. It was a first step toward mutual comprehension. Morin stepped forward, her expression thoughtful. This is unprecedented. A civilization communicating through energy patterns alone, yet capable of interaction with our technology and intelligence. Humanity and the Velari have succeeded where many would fail. Kyrla nodded. It is proof that intelligence, creativity, and cooperation are universal qualities. Species that adapt, observe, and learn survive. Humans exemplify this. Layla felt a surge of pride. Humanity had once again faced the unknown, survived, and begun to build understanding where others might have feared or failed. The floating city was not a threat. It was an opportunity, a chance to expand knowledge, to form alliances, and to explore possibilities beyond imagination. Selira placed a hand on her shoulder. Humanity's ingenuity, combined with our guidance, has achieved something remarkable. You have proven your worth, not through aggression, but through intelligence, creativity, and persistence. Layla smiled. We survive because we must, we explore because it is in our nature, and we thrive because we never give up no matter the challenge. As the exploration vessel continued to map the floating city, the crew discovered more wonders. Energy gardens, flowing streams of light, and structures that seemed to defy gravity and logic. Each discovery reinforced the lesson that survival and success in the galaxy depended on adaptability, curiosity, and cooperation. Over time, the city began to respond in increasingly complex ways, creating patterns that suggested not only recognition but collaboration. Humanity and the Velari had made first contact with a truly alien intelligence, and they were learning together, slowly but surely. Layla looked out over the observation deck, the floating city glowing in the distance. Humanity had faced giants, fleets, and unknown forces before, yet each time they had adapted and survived. Now they faced a civilization that was not hostile but vastly different, a challenge of understanding rather than combat. And as the stars stretched endlessly before them, Layla knew that humanity's journey was far from over. They had proven their resilience, intelligence, and ingenuity time and again. The galaxy was vast, filled with wonders, dangers, and mysteries, but humanity was ready. With allies like the Velari, and with determination, creativity, and courage as their tools, Humans could survive, thrive, and explore the unknown. The floating city was only the beginning, a new chapter in a story that spanned the stars, where every challenge was met with innovation, every threat with strategy, and every unknown with resolve. Layla felt a quiet confidence. Humans had survived against impossible odds, faced unknown forces, and made allies out of giants. Now they were ready to embrace the galaxy, not as mere survivors, but as explorers, thinkers, and pioneers. The stars waited, infinite and unyielding. Humanity was small, yet extraordinary. And with ingenuity, resilience, and cooperation, there was nothing in the universe they could not face.